Inner strength does not appear when life is easy. It rises the moment you decide to stop running from what's hard. That is the real claim at the beginning of this journey, and it is the foundation of everything that follows. Too often people think strength is about appearing tough on the outside, about posturing or looking confident in public. But strength is not built on applause or on image. It is built quietly, through choices you make when no one is watching, through the discipline of your mind, and through the habits that hold you steady when life throws its storms at you. If you have ever felt weak inside, if your mind collapses when things do not go your way, you are not alone. Many drift through their days waiting for circumstances to change, waiting for motivation to appear, waiting for someone to tell them they have permission to lead their own life. But waiting is a trap. Waiting keeps you small. Waiting keeps you stuck. And the longer you wait, the heavier the regret becomes. Real strength begins with a single decision. This is my life, and I am responsible for it. That declaration may sound simple, but it is the turning point. When you take ownership, you take your power back. You stop giving excuses the right to dictate your future. You stop letting other people's opinions control your choices. You stop telling yourself stories that justify staying the same. It is not because life suddenly gets easier, it won't, but because you get stronger. Strength is not the absence of fear or difficulty. It is the commitment to act anyway. Think of the way most people live. They drift. They blame. They complain about their circumstances. They hope something will rescue them, but no rescue comes. And while they wait, time passes, opportunities slip away, and their potential shrinks. But the moment you decide, I will take control, everything changes. You don't control every event that happens to you, but you control how you respond. That response is where your strength is built. Every time you choose courage over fear, you grow stronger. Every time you act with discipline instead of excuses, you grow stronger. Every time you move forward, even when it is uncomfortable, you grow stronger. This is not theory. You have already lived moments that prove it. Think about the times when you pushed through despite being tired. Think about the moments when you showed up even though no one noticed. Think about the challenges you endured when you wanted to quit. Each of those was a seed of inner strength, planted not by chance, but by your choice. Now imagine living that way deliberately, every single day. Imagine how much stronger you would become if you stopped waiting for the perfect conditions and started leading your life on purpose. Taking control means refusing to let problems define you. It means you stop saying, I can't because of what happened to me, and you start saying, I will because I've decided to. That small change in language rewires the way you face your day. You walk differently. You breathe differently. You handle stress with a sharper edge of determination, and the people around you feel it, even if you never say a word. Strength radiates not from boasting, but from quiet consistency. Of course, taking control also means taking back your time. Hours slip away when mornings are wasted, afternoons are unfocused, and evenings are filled with regret. You cannot build strength if you surrender your time to distractions. Start early. Set your focus. Stop scrolling endlessly. Use your energy to build something real. Feelings come and go, but decisions shape direction, and direction creates progress. That is where strength lives, in progress, not perfection. Most people avoid what is hard because it feels unpleasant, but that is why they stay soft, why they stay stuck. If you want to build something that lasts, you must choose what is difficult. Cut the noise. Cut the laziness. Cut the blame. No more lying to yourself that you are satisfied with less than what you are capable of. You are not. Deep down, you crave growth, pride, and the sense of living at your best. And that pride will only come when you take control and do the work. You do not need the perfect plan. You just need to begin. Begin with what you have, where you are, right now. Stop telling yourself you need more time, more knowledge, or more confidence. That is fear wearing a mask of logic. What you need is action. Because action creates change. Action builds belief. Action creates momentum. And momentum builds strength. So start today. Not because it is easy, but because you are tired of waiting. Tired of imagining what life could look like if only you acted. Life will not hand you change. You must choose it. Choose to wake up and declare, enough waiting, enough holding back. I am ready to lead my life. Do not worry if others don't understand. They rarely will. They are too busy running from responsibility. But you are not them. You run toward it. You embrace discomfort, because that is where your strength is hiding. And here is the truth you will discover along the way. Your limits were never real. You were waiting for permission to stop playing small, but that permission is yours to give. Once you grant it to yourself, everything begins to shift. Your habits shift. Your mindset shifts. Your energy shifts. And others will sense it without you proving anything. Your life itself becomes the proof. But taking control is not a one-time declaration. It is a practice. Once you claim it, you must protect it. You must keep showing up even when it is dull, even when it is hard, even when no one claps. Strength is forged in those moments, in the repetition of doing what builds you regardless of circumstance. That is how you create something unshakable inside you. This is the foundation of immense inner strength, claiming your life now, refusing to delay, and choosing responsibility over excuses. It is the beginning of a journey that will demand discipline, focus, resilience in pain, calm under stress, honesty with yourself, stronger habits, and a purposeful way of living. But everything starts here, with the decision to take control today, not tomorrow. And as we move forward, the next truth becomes clear. Once you claim your life, you must discipline it. Because control without discipline is fragile. The real test of strength lies in what you do every day, especially when comfort tempts you. Once you have claimed ownership of your life, the next step is to discipline it. Control without discipline is fragile. It is like steering a ship but never setting the sails. You may know where you want to go, but without daily discipline, the winds of distraction and comfort will push you off course. Discipline is what transforms a decision into a lifestyle. It is what turns a spark of determination into a steady flame that cannot be extinguished by moods, fatigue, or discouragement. Discipline is not glamorous. It is not dramatic. It is not something you post online for recognition. Real discipline is private and quiet. It is the alarm clock at dawn when your body begs for more sleep, and you rise anyway. It is the workout you complete when your mind argues for the couch. It is choosing to follow through on your commitments, even when no one is watching, even when the excuses in your head sound reasonable. Every time you silence that voice of postponement, I'll start tomorrow. It's not that important today. I've done enough already. You build a little more strength. The challenge is that feelings will betray you. They will tell you to stay in bed, to indulge in comfort food, to scroll on your phone, to waste time. If you live by your feelings, you lose. If you rise above them and act on your standards, you win. The people who grow and achieve are not the ones who always feel motivated. They are the ones who decide that discipline matters more than how they feel in the moment. True growth begins at the edge of comfort. That is why discipline lives in the uncomfortable zone. Anyone can do what feels good. Strength is built when you do what feels hard. Each uncomfortable choice you make becomes training for your mind. You prove to yourself that you are not ruled by emotion, that you can be trusted to stay the course. That proof is priceless. It creates confidence that cannot be faked because it is earned through action. Think about how discipline spreads. When you learn to push yourself in fitness, it bleeds into your work. When you stop making excuses in one area, soon you stop making them in others. When you start finishing tasks on time, you begin to carry that reliability into relationships, projects, and personal goals. Discipline does not stay in one box. It leaks into your whole identity, shaping you into someone stronger, steadier, more dependable. But here's the critical detail. Discipline must be daily, not once a week, not when inspiration strikes. Every day. The separation between average and exceptional is not found in one huge action, but in repeated small choices. When you wake up early every day, you train yourself to value your time. When you consistently show up to your commitments, you train yourself to keep promises. When you keep promises to yourself, you build self-respect, and self-respect is the foundation of inner strength. The danger is in excuses. Excuses are seductive. They give you temporary relief while robbing you of long-term strength. Every excuse says the same thing. I am not ready. But you don't need to feel ready. You need to begin. The people who wait to feel prepared never start. Those who choose to act, even when it feels inconvenient, build momentum. And momentum becomes unstoppable once it gains speed. You don't need to be extreme. You need to be consistent. You don't need a massive transformation overnight. You need a chain of disciplined actions. Never break the chain. Do not tell yourself you will catch up tomorrow. If you let today slip, you weaken your standard. If you keep today strong, you strengthen tomorrow. Discipline is the act of keeping that chain alive. And discipline brings freedom. Freedom from regret. Freedom from guilt. Freedom from weakness. While most people are enslaved to moods and laziness, discipline liberates you. Because when you know you can trust yourself to follow through, you stop living at the mercy of circumstance. You live with integrity. You live with purpose. Some days will be harder than others. There will be mornings you feel drained, afternoons where discouragement hits, nights when you want to abandon your plan. But remember this: discipline is not about enjoying the work. It is about doing the work regardless of enjoyment. When you do what is necessary despite resistance, you become someone you respect. That respect grows into belief, and belief grows into strength. Start small if you must. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Cut out one bad habit. Create a simple schedule and stick to it. Push yourself in one area of your life every day. Each small push builds momentum, and momentum builds strength. The hardest part is starting, but once you do, never let the chain break. Over time, something changes inside you. The habits that once felt impossible begin to feel natural. The battles you used to fight against yourself grow quieter. Discipline becomes part of who you are, not just something you do. You stop questioning whether you will show up. You know you will. You stop doubting whether you can push through. You have proven you can. That is when you begin to live with an unshakable core. Discipline is not perfection, it is commitment. It is the willingness to lead yourself even when no one checks on you. It is the decision to stop living below your potential, to stop hiding behind moods, to stop waiting for a crisis to force you into change. Discipline is choosing to rise today, to rise tomorrow, and to rise again the next day. And here is the beauty. When discipline becomes your default, you free yourself from the constant battle of motivation. You no longer wonder if you'll have the energy or the spark. You simply act. That steadiness is rare, and rare things are powerful. So let today be the day you commit to discipline, not as a mood, not as a phase, but as a standard. Decide that you will push through what is uncomfortable on purpose every single day. Because in the end, it is not the comfortable path that makes you strong. It is the disciplined one. As this discipline takes root, the next challenge comes into view. It is not enough to act consistently. You must act with focus. Because scattered energy builds nothing, but concentrated energy builds everything. And that is where we turn next. Discipline has set the foundation, but now your strength depends on how well you direct it. Without focus, discipline scatters. You can work hard all day, but end up exhausted with nothing meaningful built. Focus is the magnifying glass that turns the small flame of your daily effort into fire hot enough to move mountains. If you want real inner strength, you must take control of your attention. Distractions are everywhere, and most of them don't look dangerous. They come disguised as normal habits. Scrolling endlessly, checking your phone every few minutes, jumping from one task to another. None of these seems like a big deal in the moment, but over time they eat away at your ability to concentrate. They weaken your mind's stamina. They rob you of the quiet confidence that comes from giving your best effort to something that matters. The truth is, you don't lose strength in one giant collapse. You lose it in small leaks of attention. A few wasted minutes here, a few there, until your day is gone and you wonder why you feel stuck. That is why strong people treat focus as sacred. They protect it like it's their most valuable asset. Because it is. You cannot build strength if your energy is scattered. You cannot lead your life if your attention is always reacting to the next notification, the next request, the next distraction. Focus means deciding what deserves your energy and cutting away the rest. Not everything deserves a response. Not every message is urgent. Not every invitation needs a yes. To reclaim your focus, start with your environment. A cluttered space creates a cluttered mind. Clean up your workspace. Remove the temptations that pull you off track. Turn off notifications. Put your phone away when you are doing real work. Create a space that matches your intention. When your environment supports focus, your mind follows more easily. Then, choose your priorities with clarity. Do not try to do 10 things at once. Decide on the 1 or 2 actions that truly move your life forward and give them your full energy. This is not about being busy. Many people stay busy all day, yet achieve nothing real. Busyness is reaction. Focus is creation. You must also train focus like a muscle. Start with short bursts of deep attention. Maybe 20 minutes without distraction. Then extend it. Each time your mind wanders and you pull it back, you get stronger. Each time you finish a task without checking out, you build trust with yourself. Slowly, you expand your capacity for deep work, and that ability separates you from the masses. Think of how rare real focus is today. Most people cannot concentrate for more than a few minutes without needing to check something. That weakness is an opportunity. If you can train yourself to focus for long stretches, you will gain an edge in every area of life. A focused mind sees patterns others miss. It spots opportunities. It builds with efficiency, while others waste their strength reacting. But you must be intentional. Focus will not appear on its own. The world is too full of noise. You must carve out the silence yourself. Schedule blocks of time when you are unavailable. Guard those hours like your life depends on it, because your future does. Learn to tell people no. Learn to protect your energy without guilt. Each focused day becomes a brick in the foundation of your inner strength. Stack enough of them, and you begin to feel different. Your confidence rises because you know you are actually moving forward. You no longer feel scattered. You feel sharp, in control, purposeful. That is strength. Quiet, grounded, undeniable strength. And remember, focus is not about doing more, but about doing less with greater intensity. It is not about multitasking, but about depth. Most achievements worth having are built in deep focus, not in a flurry of shallow activity. Every time you give your best attention to what matters most, you grow stronger inside. So strip away what drains you. Clean your space. Protect your time. Choose your priorities. Train your focus like you train a muscle. Each day you do this, you claim more power over your mind. And as that focus sharpens, you discover that strength is not just about pushing harder. It is about aiming with precision. Still, even with discipline and focus, life will test you in another way. You will face pain, emotional, physical, mental, and your instinct will be to run. But escaping pain does not build strength. Enduring it does. That is the next step in this journey. Learning how to face pain without looking for an exit. Discipline has trained your will. Focus has sharpened your energy. But life has a way of introducing a harder teacher. Pain. Pain is the test no one wants, yet everyone must face. It is not an accident or a punishment. It is part of the process of growth. You cannot build immense inner strength without learning how to stand inside pain without rushing to escape it. Most people treat pain as a signal to stop. The moment discomfort shows up, they scramble for relief. They numb themselves with distractions, avoid responsibilities, or chase temporary pleasures to quiet the ache. But every time you run from pain, you rob yourself of strength. Real strength comes when you feel the weight, face the pressure, endure the discomfort, and continue forward anyway. Pain is the fire that forges character. It reveals who you are when everything easy is stripped away. Anyone can look strong when life is smooth. But when plans collapse, when fatigue hits, when rejection cuts deep, when failure bruises your pride, that is when your true identity emerges. Do you crumble and retreat? Or do you breathe, steady yourself, and keep moving? Here is the secret. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Every struggle carries a lesson, but you can only learn it if you stop running and start listening. Instead of asking, "How do I get out of this?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Pain teaches patience. Pain teaches humility. Pain teaches endurance. And once those lessons sink in, they become unshakable strength inside you. This doesn't mean you should love pain or pretend it doesn't hurt. It does hurt. Some days it feels unbearable. Some days the weight feels like too much. But you are not weak for feeling pain. You are human. What matters is that you refuse to let pain make your decisions. Weakness surrenders to pain. Strength keeps walking. One more rep, one more hour, one more day. That persistence is how you win. The trick is not to wait until pain disappears before acting. If you wait, you may never act again. The real strength comes when you act while the pain is still present. You keep showing up. You keep following your routines. You keep honoring your standards. That is how you prove to yourself that pain will not break you. Think about the strongest people you've known or admired. Were they strong because life spared them hardship? No. They were strong because life tested them, and they kept showing up through the storm. They turned setbacks into lessons. They turned pressure into power. They transformed suffering into growth. That is not luck. That is a choice. And the more you face pain without running, the less fear it holds over you. Pain becomes familiar, not easy, but less intimidating. You stop dreading discomfort because you realize it cannot destroy you. Instead, it shapes you. Over time, you become steady, grounded, unshaken. People notice it in the way you carry yourself, in the calmness of your eyes, in the steadiness of your presence. You begin to radiate the quiet confidence of someone who has endured storms and come out stronger. Of course, the temptation to escape will always whisper. Pain will try to trick you, telling you it's pointless, telling you that you're not built for this, telling you to stop. Do not listen. Pain is a liar when it demands surrender. Your job is to see through the lie, to keep your commitment alive, to outlast the suffering. Because suffering does not last forever, but the strength you gain from enduring it does, and there is peace hidden inside this endurance. When you refuse to run, when you choose to stay steady under pain, you gain a deep inner calm. Not because life is painless, but because you trust yourself to handle whatever comes. That calm is rare. Most people spend their lives chasing comfort, while the few who accept pain as a teacher develop a power that no one can take from them. So the next time hardship arrives, don't numb it. Don't hide from it. Don't beg for escape. Sit with it. Breathe through it. Keep moving forward inside it. Let it refine you. Let it carve out your weaknesses. Let it build your spirit. That is how you become resilient, unbreakable, and alive with real strength. Now, having learned to endure pain, the journey shifts again. Because pain is not the only test. You will also face stress, the relentless pressure of responsibilities, deadlines, and uncertainty. And if your mind collapses in stress, your strength collapses with it. That is why the next step is learning how to train your mind to stay calm, no matter how loud the storm becomes. Pain has taught you endurance, but the next test is subtler and more constant. Stress. Stress is not always dramatic. It can arrive through heavy responsibilities, tight deadlines, unexpected problems, or even for no clear reason at all. And if your mind collapses each time stress shows up, then no amount of discipline or focus will protect you. True inner strength requires training your mind to stay calm in the middle of chaos. Calm is not a gift. Calm is not luck. Calm is a skill you build, just like muscle. Anyone can relax when life is smooth, but that is not real strength. The real test is whether you can remain composed when everything is breaking down around you, when people disappoint you, when plans fail, when the pressure is crushing your shoulders. Can you stay steady? Can you respond instead of react? That is the kind of strength that changes how you lead your life. Stress itself is not the problem. Stress is a signal, a wave of energy. The problem comes when you react without awareness, snapping at others, panicking, shutting down. Most of the damage people cause under stress is not from the stress itself, but from their frantic reaction to it. Inner strength is built when you slow down, take a breath, and choose your response deliberately. This requires awareness. You must watch yourself like a coach observing an athlete. What is your default reaction under stress? Do you lash out? Do you freeze? Do you spiral into worst-case thinking? Whatever your pattern is, you cannot change it until you see it clearly. Once you recognize it, you have the power to shift. The first tool of calm is breathing. It sounds too simple, but it works. Under stress, your breathing becomes shallow and fast, which signals your body to panic even more. By slowing your breath, you slow your mind. Deep, deliberate breaths create space for choice. That space is where calm is built. Another tool is language. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself in stressful moments. Many people fuel their own panic by saying things like, "I can't handle this. Everything is falling apart." Those words multiply the chaos inside. Change them. Say instead, "I've handled hard things before. I will handle this too." One step at a time. Your mind listens to your voice. Feed it calm, and it will follow. Calm is not weakness. Calm is power under control. It is not about being passive. It is about being steady enough to act effectively. In a crisis, the calm person is the leader, not because of a title, but because steadiness is rare and magnetic. People trust the one who does not panic. To build this calm consistently, you must also guard your mental environment. If your life is filled with constant noise, stimulation, and distraction, your baseline will always be jittery. Subtract what overloads your mind. Create quiet time each day, even a few minutes, where you let your thoughts settle. Protect your peace by simplifying commitments, saying no to what drains you, and stepping away from conversations that lead nowhere. Order on the outside creates space for calm on the inside. You will not be perfect at this. You will slip. You will overreact. You will feel overwhelmed. That does not mean you are weak. It means you are human. What matters is that you keep practicing. Calm is built through repetition, through catching yourself earlier each time stress rises. Each reset strengthens the muscle of composure. The gift of this practice is profound. When you can remain calm under pressure, you gain clarity. You see facts instead of stories. You act with purpose instead of impulse. You stop wasting energy on panic and direct it into solutions. This calm becomes your new default, your steady ground, even when the world shakes. And here is the deeper truth. Calm does not come because life is easier. Calm comes because you are stronger. You stop giving away control of your mind to stress and reclaim it as your own. That is the essence of inner strength. So train your calm every day. In traffic, in conversations, in moments of waiting. Use the small stresses as practice so that when big storms arrive, you are prepared. Stay grounded, stay centered, breathe deeply, choose your words wisely. Let calm become your edge. But even calm has another layer. Because calm without honesty can turn into avoidance. The next challenge in building immense inner strength is learning to speak truth to yourself when no one else will. Facing your own excuses and patterns with unshakable clarity. That is where we go next. Calm under stress gives you composure, but composure alone is not enough. If you want immense inner strength, you must have the courage to speak the truth to yourself, especially when no one else will. This is one of the hardest disciplines, because it strips away illusions. Most people lie to themselves daily. They soften the edges of reality. They tell themselves they're working harder than they are. that their habits aren't that damaging, that they'll change when the timing is better. These lies may feel comforting in the moment, but they weaken you over time. Strength begins when you stop running from honesty. Look into the mirror of your own actions and ask, am I truly living the life I say I want? Do my choices match my words? If the answer is no, do not hide from it. Do not sugarcoat it. Say the truth. Say, I'm falling short. I've been avoiding the work. I've been lying to myself. It will sting, but that sting is cleansing. It cuts through confusion and reveals clarity. The reason this matters so much is because no one knows you like you know yourself. No one hears the excuses that circle in your mind. No one sees the hesitation you hide from the world. And because of that, no one else can hold you accountable the way you can. You must be your own coach, your own challenger, your own wake-up call. When you begin to speak truth to yourself, you reclaim power. You stop living in denial. You stop drifting in a haze of someday. You start confronting reality head-on. And reality, no matter how uncomfortable, is the only place where growth begins. That is why honesty is not about tearing yourself down. It is about lifting yourself up with clarity. Ask yourself daily, where am I letting myself down? Maybe you've been wasting time online. Maybe you've avoided difficult conversations. Maybe you've said you wanted change, but your actions don't prove it. Each admission is painful, but each one is also liberating. Because once the illusion breaks, you are free to act differently. You cannot improve what you refuse to see. The habit of speaking truth to yourself must be consistent. Every day, sit with the tough questions. Did I give my best today? Did I follow through on what I promised? Did I waste time or use it well? If the answer is no, then tomorrow becomes your chance to adjust. And when the answer is yes, acknowledge that too. Recognize your progress. Both the corrections and the encouragements matter because they keep you grounded in reality. And here's the deeper benefit. When you live with honesty, you stop craving validation. You stop needing others to approve or applaud you. You stop performing for the crowd. You live solid inside because you know who you are and where you stand. That kind of authenticity is rare, and it makes you unshakable. Still, truth is not enough on its own. Once you see clearly, you must act on what you know. That means breaking habits that weaken you and replacing them with routines that strengthen you. Inner strength is not built on words. It is built on systems that carry you forward every day. Weak habits drain you. Strong habits build you. That transition is where your strength becomes a lifestyle, not just an intention. Habits shape identity. If you wake up late and waste the first hour of your day, you reinforce the identity of someone who drifts. If you wake up early, drink water, move your body, and plan with intention, you reinforce the identity of someone in control. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. That is why routines are so powerful. They protect you when motivation is low and give structure to your growth. Breaking bad habits requires strategy. You cannot simply hope to resist temptation. You must design your environment to make weak choices harder and strong choices easier. Move your phone away when you work. Set clear cutoff times at night. Prepare meals ahead of time. Remove the triggers that keep pulling you back into old patterns. Then, replace them with routines that align with your vision. Start small, build consistently, and protect the chain of progress. The process is not about perfection. It is about persistence. You will slip. You will miss days. But one mistake does not erase your progress. Weak people use failure as an excuse to quit. Strong people use failure as feedback to adjust. Each time you return, you prove to yourself that you are not controlled by setbacks. That resilience is itself a form of strength. When your habits align with your truth, everything changes. Your days gain rhythm. Your time gains structure. Your energy rises. You stop feeling at the mercy of moods and start feeling anchored in discipline. And as you look back, you realize that the person who once struggled to take control is now leading with intention. That is the final stage of building immense inner strength, living with purpose. Purpose ties all the steps together: control, discipline, focus, endurance, calm, truth, habits, and gives them direction. Without purpose, strength is scattered. With purpose, strength becomes a legacy. And that is where this journey ends. Strength is not built in one day. It is the result of countless choices, repeated consistently, anchored in a deeper reason for living. Purpose is that anchor. It transforms your routines into more than checklists. It makes them expressions of who you are becoming. Without purpose, you drift. With purpose, you direct your life with clarity. Living with purpose does not require knowing every detail of your future. It requires knowing what matters today. Why do you rise each morning? Why do you work? Why do you endure stress, push through pain, discipline yourself? If your answer is survival, you will never feel fulfilled. But if your answer is growth, contribution, love, or building something meaningful, then even ordinary days become sacred. Purpose simplifies your choices. You stop wasting energy on what does not matter. You say no to distractions because they steal from your mission. You go all in on what aligns with your vision. Whether it is your health, your work, or your relationships, purpose guides you to invest where your effort counts. And purpose transforms the way you handle adversity. When you live without direction, challenges feel meaningless and overwhelming. But when you live with purpose, every obstacle becomes training. Every setback becomes part of your story. Pain becomes the forge. Discipline becomes the tool. And calm becomes the strategy. You endure not because it is easy, but because it is worth it. Living with purpose also deepens your sense of responsibility. You no longer blame others or wait for rescue. You wake up each day and declare, "This is my life, and I am responsible for it." That single truth shifts your posture from victim to creator. And creators build legacies, not excuses. The beauty of purpose is that it makes consistency more important than perfection. You don't need flawless days. You need committed days. Show up, even if imperfect. Do what matters, even if it's small. Stack those days, and over time you will build a life that reflects strength, clarity, and meaning. So let this be your commitment. Start now. Start where you are. Fix the habits that weaken you. Protect your focus. Push through discomfort. Speak truth to yourself. Stay calm under stress. And above all, live with purpose. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Because at the end of your life, it will not be the easy days you remember. It will be the days you stood firm when fear was loud. The mornings you acted without motivation. The choices you made with integrity when no one was watching. Those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments that build immense inner strength. Thank you for staying with this journey. Keep working on yourself every day. You are stronger than you think, and stronger still when you choose to live with purpose.